So you want to get into cybersecurity, but you don't know where to start. Well, stick around for this video and we'll go over the best entry-level cybersecurity certifications to help you get that job that you've been wanting for a while. But first, let's go ahead and cue up that intro. If this is the first time that we're meeting, welcome to my channel. My name is John Good, and here we get to spread my passion for cybersecurity training, tips and tricks, and career advice to help you go further. Remember to smash the thumbs up to like this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon so that you don't miss future content, and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. For those who want to become a Patreon, visit the link in the description. Remember, you can donate as little as $1 to help support the channel. You can also join me on the Discord server. The link is in the description. All right, let's get into the video. So cybersecurity is one of the hottest job fields and career fields that is out there right now, especially in technology. But there's a lot of different certifications that exist, and it can actually be really confusing which one you should go for and why not another certification. So that's going to be the whole purpose of this video. We're going to go over some of the ideal and best entry-level certifications that you should be looking at when you're considering which ones to go for. So without further ado, let's jump into the list. So number 5 is going to be from eLearn, and it is the EJPT. So the eLearn Junior Penetration Tester. Now, with penetration testing, this is one of those fields or areas of cybersecurity where everybody seems to want to get into. It is the cool area of cybersecurity, no doubt. You see a lot of movies from Hollywood, and they really play up that intense portion where you're breaking into a system. Well, one thing with these movies is that a lot of these scenes and different actors, they are portraying what is a black hat hacker. And these people are basically the bad guys, right? They're the attackers. In real life, that's not necessarily what hacking or ethical hacking, penetration testing, whatever word you want to use for it, that's not actually how it is in real life. It's actually very structured. There's a lot of reporting and, really there's a lot of precautions that go with it. But considering that a lot of people want to get into ethical hacking, now, and I will say this as well, ethical hacking is a very small subset of the security jobs that are out there. There are actually a whole bunch of different other areas, and a lot of the ethical hackers and penetration testers work for consulting companies. So it's a very small subset of the jobs that exist. But since a lot of people are interested in it, and one of the most important things with learning anything is that you actually get interested into it and you get hooked on whatever you're learning. So that's why I'm actually including a penetration testing certification on my list. Normally I would not have, but it's actually really important that you learn something that's going to be very interesting to you, especially when you start out. So let's go ahead and pull up the actual web page for the certification. So this is the web page for the EJPT. And one of the benefits for this certification is that it's actually a practical certification. So you actually get access to their VPN network and their VPN lab, so you can actually do a lot of hands-on testing practice. And that's one of the most important things when you're learning a new skill set, especially in technology, is a lot of the things are technical or technology based. So getting that hands-on is really important. But they have a whole bunch of different areas that you can learn, and I'm not going to go, directly in depth with this. But basically, you learn a lot of things on how to be a penetration tester. Now, depending on your skill level, that's going to kind of impact what you do with this. So this is really good for anybody that's, fresh getting into technology, or just really, really junior level, really beginner or entry level. Now, if you feel like your experience is a little bit more than this exam, you can actually go to another one that they have, and it's right here. It is the ECPPT, so the Certified Professional Penetration Tester. And this is the step up from the EJPT. So it's the same kind of thing where it's going to be hands-on exams and hands-on practice, but you're going to learn, things at a little bit higher level. So it's going to require a little bit more knowledge and background than the EJPT. Now, one of the downsides with eLearn security certifications is that they are not generally requested as much as other certifications are. So it's a good entry point, but it's definitely not going to be a stopping point, and that's really with all these certifications. But it's going to give you some really good knowledge that you need to build upon. So with that being said, I went ahead and I pulled up Indeed, which is a job board, job posting search engine here in the United States. And I searched for the EJPT, since that's the first one that I recommended. And you can see there's 2 jobs that came up in the entire United States. Okay. If we change this to the ECPPT, which is the other one, the step up, you get 16 jobs. Okay. So it's really important to know that on this certification, it's not widely requested, at least as of now. But again, it's going to give you some good information. And I know because it's going to come up, people are going to ask about Certified Ethical Hacker and the OSCP exam and all these different other certifications that are related to ethical hacking. The reason why I put eLearn security certifications on here is because, especially when you're first starting out, you probably don't have the discipline or the skill set to learn the OSCP way. The OSCP is kind of unstructured once you get into the actual lab environment. You learn some initial things and some basic entry-level kind of techniques for penetration testing. But once you actually get into the lab, it's kind of a free-for-all. So I've found, especially with me and other people that I know, that when you're initially starting out, you really want to have that very structured environment. So that's why I did not list the others. Even though the others are very good, they aren't something that I would recommend for somebody just trying to break into security. Now, the next one, the 4th certification that I'm going to recommend, is the GIAC GSEC. Okay, and this is the Security Essentials certification from GIAC. Now, with GIAC, they are one of the most known and well-respected certification bodies out there for cybersecurity certifications. They make certifications for everything. There's penetration testing, reverse engineering, packet analysis, incident handling, all kinds of different stuff. So they are very valuable certifications. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the website for them. Bring it on the screen here. And so this is the certification, the GSEC, so Security Essentials. Now, one of the things with the Security Essentials exam is it covers a whole bunch of different stuff. The exam itself, 180 questions, and you get 5 hours to take it. And those are kind of the general requirements as far as the exam. But it covers a whole bunch of different topics that are really important when it comes to cybersecurity. Okay? And so it's really a well-rounded certification. Now, with that being said, those are some of the pros about the GSEC exam. One of the problems with the GIAC certifications, or kind of the limitations, is that they are very expensive. For this certification, you're looking at $7,000-$8,000 for the certification training and to take the exam once. So it's very expensive to take that certification. Now, with having that certification, because I do have that certification, I can tell you that it's a great certification. There's a lot of great information. It's frequently updated. They are always updating their certification material. And that's kind of a difference from some of the other certifications. A lot of the other bodies, they will create an outline and a certification, and they will just publish it. With the GIAC certifications, it's all based on your training if you took it. So that is the exam outline that you would take. Now, they're not going to, widely change it, especially if you took it, 6 months ago compared to, if you took it now, but it changes all the time. And then when you come up for a renewal, you can actually get the most updated courseware with just paying the renewal fee. You don't have to pay, several thousands of dollars to get the updated materials. So they are very valuable certifications. Now, if you're enjoying the content so far, I want you to go ahead and leave a comment with #cyber to let me know that you're enjoying it, and go ahead and hit that thumbs up button to show that you like the video. Now let's go ahead and pull up the job listings for the GSEC. So as you can see on here, there's 2,300 job listings. So 2,320 as of today when I'm searching for this. So that's definitely a step up from the EJPT. And you're going to see a lot of, more normal security type jobs. Whereas on the EJPT, it's a lot of penetration testing jobs, obviously, because it's a penetration testing certification. But you can see all the different kinds of jobs that are in here, SOC analyst and other jobs like that. So definitely a lot more jobs that list that certification. Now, as far as the next certification, the third certification, it's going to be the SSCP. Now, this certification is made by a body called ISC Squared, who makes another certification that you may or may not be aware of, but the CISSP or the CISP, and that is actually considered the gold standard when it comes to cybersecurity and information security certifications. So it's a very well-known community and well-known body for certifications. So let's go ahead and bring up the SSCP here. So here's the website for the SSCP, and something that's really interesting with this certification and really all of ISC Squared certifications is there's actually an experience requirement to get fully certified. So go down here, we can actually see that you have to have 1 year experience in at least one of the domains for the exam. Now, there is a waiver, and it's based on being able to get a degree. If you have a degree, you can get that waived. But with experience requirements on certifications, it's actually kind of useful because it keeps a lot of people that don't have that experience. It keeps them limited until they get that experience requirement. So it's kind of an additional benefit for certifications. Now, with the CISSP, it actually steps up the experience requirement to 4 years with a waiver or 5 years of experience. So there's definitely a lot of value in that. One of the interesting things with this exam is that the domains overlap a whole bunch with the CISSP exam. The CISSP adds additional domains, so there's more experience, more experience requirement. So, but they are very good domains to know. Now, the exam itself, it's not going to be a practical exam. It's going to be a multiple choice style exam. So that kind of is a downside. But again, it's a very well-known certification body. The certification itself is not as known because it's relatively new. So let's go ahead and bring up the job postings here so you can see that. And so here are the job postings for the SSCP. And you can see 2,400 job postings. So 2,417. As you can see, just like with the GSEC, there's a whole bunch of regular type security and cybersecurity jobs that you can get with SSCP. So definitely check that out. And there's an increase in job postings that want it. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, the next certification, number 2, is going to be the Microsoft Certified Azure Security Engineer Associate. Now, if you have watched one of my other videos that I made on the MCSA and MCSE being dead for cybersecurity, or if you followed the news on security certifications and Microsoft certifications specifically, well, the MCSA and the MCSE are actually being retired in general, and they are switching everybody over to trying to get Azure certifications. So they're really trying to pump out and push the, cloud certifications for everybody. And it's kind of interesting because historically, a lot of people would say, oh, well, go get your MCSA or MCSE, especially if you're trying to get into cybersecurity, because you can know what you're trying to protect. Well, since everything is being pushed into the cloud, things are kind of changing. So that's why this certification is on here. And honestly, if you were to get this certification, you would be really in demand and your skill set would be very relevant to a lot of companies. So let's go ahead and bring this up here. So this is the exam page. And if you go to Microsoft and you just search for the exam, you can see. But let's go ahead and look at the objectives here. So this is a lot about identity management and really cloud security. Remember, Azure is the cloud environment for Microsoft. So it's very relevant for your skill set that you would need. And honestly, this is a very valuable certification. It is new, so that's kind of a downside. You're not going to see this listed in a whole bunch of, job postings more than likely, at least this specific certification, but the skill sets are right on. So let's go ahead and bring up the job postings so you can see that. So here are the job postings that I found. Now I went ahead and I searched Azure security, okay, because Azure is the cloud environment and then security. So hopefully most of the results that come back are related. And you can see that there's 4,197 job postings that came back with that search. So that's probably pretty accurate. Otherwise, we probably would get, 10, 20, 30,000 results for Azure. But you can see a lot of these jobs, they list security in there and Azure. So I think this is actually pretty relevant and pretty accurate as far as how many jobs are looking for that. But, I highly would recommend looking into this certification. Cloud is here. And especially if you're trying to do things the old ways that people would do it, you're probably going to put yourself at a disadvantage. So I would highly recommend looking at this certification. Now, one of the downsides is because it is a new certification, there's probably going to be some, quirks with the exam and the preparation material. But honestly, it's worth looking into. You really want to try to be relevant with your certifications. And I think, especially with this one, this is one of those ones where I don't think you could go wrong if you went for it. All right, you made it this far. So let's go ahead and let's reveal the number one entry-level cybersecurity certification that you need to consider when you're trying to break into cybersecurity. It is the Security Plus from CompTIA. Now, a lot of people are very familiar with CompTIA and possibly the Security Plus, but if you aren't, CompTIA is one of the best known entry-level certification providers that exist for IT related jobs. The Security Plus is one of those certifications that has been around for a while. It's very well known, and a lot of jobs recognize it, a lot of jobs request it, because it really does a good job of giving you a lot of the foundational knowledge. It's not very expensive to get. It's like $300. And honestly, a lot of people start out getting certifications from CompTIA, something like the A Plus or the Network Plus. And so it's just kind of a natural segue on the security certification path. So let's go ahead and let's bring up the website. So this is CompTIA's website. And if we go down here to the exam information, So the SY0501 is the current exam as of the recording of this video. You can see $349 US, so it's not that expensive for the exam. Of course, you got to get a book or some kind of video training as well. Maximum of 90 questions. That's a whole bunch of questions, definitely, but you get 90 minutes to take it, so you really got to be flying through it. But honestly, this is a pretty good exam and a very good certification to get. There's a lot of value in it. I have actually created a course for the Security Plus as well. So if you check the description, you can go ahead and sign up for my course and get really prepared for this exam. But honestly, this is a really good certification to get. Now, let's go ahead and bring up the job postings for this. So I started first by searching Security Plus. Don't do that. I got way too many non-relevant results. So I went ahead and put in CompTIA Security Plus to get more accurate numbers. But you can see here, 5,392 results. So as you can see, all the jobs that I've listed, they've gone up and up and up as far as how many jobs are requesting it. Now, that's a really important skill set for the future, is to always check job postings for the security certifications. That way you know what they want and you can stay relevant. But, there's a lot of different jobs that are going to want the Security Plus. With government and military jobs, at least in the United States, it is a requirement to have the Security Plus. So you're going to see a lot of jobs like that. But honestly, it's just known as one of those security certifications that you really want to get. It's very reasonable to get it without a lot of experience. It teaches you a lot of information. One of the downsides with some of these exams, really, if they're not practical, it can be very challenging, at least, to pay attention and to really conceptualize some of this stuff. But honestly, from a information standpoint, knowing some of these concepts and core things within security, you learn down the road further in your career that a lot of that stuff is actually really important. Anybody can kind of learn technology and different tools and things like that, but it is the concepts and knowing what they are and how they are applied that is the most important thing for a lot of security jobs. Now, I'm going to bring up some tools that will help you in addition to the security certifications that I've shown you, but they can help you in your career in finding the certifications that you need to be focused on. And remember, you also want to check the job postings. So let's go ahead and bring up some of these tools here. The first one is this CyberSeek website here. Now, this helps you identify where a lot of the jobs are at. You can see that they have this heat map, and you can go through the different states and see where a lot of the jobs are at. You can see, like here in California, 72,000 job postings. Texas, 43,000 job postings. And they give you a little guide here, a little key for the different job postings. But you can also go down here and you can look at the different security certifications that they list. One of the things I don't like is that for like GIAC, they don't list specific certifications. GIAC makes a whole bunch of security certifications. That only helps a little bit. You don't really know what they're asking for exactly. But you can go in here and you can click the different states and you can see all the different metrics that they provide and different job categories and things like that. So that's definitely a useful tool. The next one is going to be the DoD 8570 requirement. Now, this is actually being replaced by another requirement, but this is related to the U.S. government and military. This is what they use as far as security certifications. So basically what happens is you have a job and it has certain responsibilities, and they categorize it in these different categories based on essentially how much you're responsible for or the kinds of things that you're responsible for. But this website actually will help you kind of identify some of the certifications that are in demand or that are acceptable for these different levels of jobs. This is actually a really good thing to look at. They keep this updated, and since it's being replaced by the 8140 requirement. Now, this is on the SANS website because I think they do a really good job as far as breaking it down. But you're going to see that a lot of the same certifications are in here as well. But you're going to want to start looking at the 8140, especially as we go forward, because that is going to be the current mandate, the current requirement. But again, it's the same thing. You can see a lot of the different security certifications in here. Like we have the Security Plus is in here, the SSCP is in here. We don't see any of the eLearn security certifications in here, but you see a lot of the other ones that are in here. CISSP, remember that's one of those ones I was talking about. The GIAC is in here. So, you can see a lot of the different security certifications on here. One final thing that I want you to keep in mind is to not discount security certifications based on what people say. Remember, there are a couple different things that indicate the value of a security certification. One is going to be that knowledge that you get from the certification and studying for it, but the other is how an employer values that security certification. Maybe there's a security certification that you might not learn a whole bunch, or you might not learn things that you are going to take with you, but your employer or an employer values it a lot. A lot of people list it. Maybe HR specifically looks for it. And I want you to keep that in mind because these certifications, they change all the time. There's new ones that come out. Things get revamped, refreshed, and you really just need to keep that in mind, okay? It might be worth, taking a month or a couple months to study for a certification, and let's say you spend like $500 on it, right? But that security certification gets you an interview or gets your foot in the door for a job that's going to make you $10,000 more, okay? Don't discount security certifications right off the bat. Just make sure you really do your homework. Now, question of the day, which security certification are you going to go for? Are you going to go for one from my list? Is there another one that you're going to go for? Let me know down in the comments. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.